Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, July 17th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you're new, well, welcome. Thank you so much. Please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com, as well as my Facebook page under Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. I'm also on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I'm branching out, so please be sure to check out everything because I'm beginning to post a lot and in a desire to serve. And anytime you have any questions about my work, please feel free to email me at serenityharbor@verizon.net. And welcome. And for those of you coming back, thank you so very much every week. I'm so grateful. And so, a little late start today, though. If you don't listen to it on Sunday, you might not have noticed, but I needed to rest because I am expanding my social media presence and I'm also working. So, I have been burning the candle at both ends this week, and it has officially caught up with me, but I did try to get more sleep this morning, and my body just goes to sleep when it's ready to anyway. So it did overnight. And so already, I'm saying "and so" too much, aren't I? Sorry. I have 4 YouTube channels and Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. There is another one I was creatively inspired to start called Life Manifest with an exclamation point, and it's all about creating with the law of attraction, raising your vibration, and I create videos for that. There's also The Guided Journey, which is a YouTube channel that is dedicated just to ancient ghost tours are sold and commercialism, I guess, a bit about it, but I'm not saying that in a negative way. So I want to go in and see, do I agree? Are there really that many spirits there or not? And are there more? Sometimes there's more than are picked up. And so this is fun for me. I would love to do it more, but I do put, it's fun. It's for entertainment purposes only. But I would like to do that much more, and I'm going to try and do that much more. But now I'm already thinking, and I want to get your take on this. And I might put a poll out on my Facebook page as well, or even on a YouTube channel page. Should I combine some of these? Not the Haunted Suitcase, but perhaps Manifest Life could be a part of my primary channel. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below of this podcast. I would appreciate it so much. Or should I just keep them all separate like I intended to? Thank you. So on to today's topic. Hope you're still with me. And this topic comes from actually a recent conversation that I had with a client who is feeling, and we all do it, but at this particular time in their lives, feeling that massive hole from the departure of a loved one to heaven. The physical, the gaping hole. It's more than, and to understand that they, even if you don't see them physically, they're there. And that they hear you in every way. They hear your thoughts. They hear you reach out. How do they reach out? All of that. Because it's so important to know, and I will say to you that I am very grateful and blessed that I do have a sharper ability to tune into the other side, but I grieve as well, and that can prevent me from connecting to my loved ones just as much as anyone else, because the emotions are involved. And let me explain that a bit. You are supposed to grieve. You are supposed to go through the grieving process. You are supposed to feel. You shouldn't put that away. You shouldn't deny that. You shouldn't mask that because it's not healthy. And inevitably, it'll come back and make you unhealthy and have you deal with extra stress and unwellness. And so we have to take care of ourselves. We have to tackle how we're feeling and deal with it. So I would always say, do not block it, let it out. And there will be good days and there will be bad days. There will be days where you're down and days when you're up. It's an ebb and flow. It's a roller coaster ride. And it's very important to go through that roller coaster ride. But I will tell you honestly that you are a radio signal to the other side. And the other side is literally right around you. It is such a thin veil, and the veil is thinning so much more now. And we know when that veil is thin, when we have our coincidences, our synchronicities, when we do see a sign from heaven, when we do hear their voice, when we do notice something out of the corner of our eyes. That's when the veil is thinned. And so that's important to know, and notice when you're noticing it, what position you're in. You're probably going to be centered, meaning you're in the present moment. You're not overly emotional. You're not stressed. You're not worried. Unless you're so worried that you just kind of detach and let it go. You throw it up. And so, yes, that would work for you. But most of the time, that's not where we are. Where we are is that we're wrapped in, spinning in our everyday lives. Focused on what our stresses are, what our worries are, what needs to be done, how much time do we have in a day, are we safe, or being triggered in some way by something that's happening. But most of the time it's just common everyday stress. And so that actually blocks us from our loved ones in heaven. They're still there, but it blocks us from perceiving them. So I want to be clear again that they catch all of that. They're right there. But if you are unable to see them and hear them and feel them, you're not going to know it. So try to center and ask them for help. Ask them to override you. Ask them to escalate their signs. And here are their common signs. They will often play with things that are battery operated or plugged in. They can brighten a light. They can flicker a light. They love the cell phones nowadays. They can send you an odd text message. They can make a cell phone act up. They can put their name on a cell phone screen if they want to, though that is extraordinary. It has happened. Whenever something is acting up and it's fine in maybe the next hour or the next day and it's fine for a while, that's pretty likely it was heaven. If you can't explain it, it's usually heaven. I often find when my loved ones are around me, a light will turn on by itself or it will brighten for no reason. And I don't mean a surge. There's no reason for it. It just happens out of nowhere. Sometimes there's a flicker. Sometimes a song comes on at the perfect time and it makes you think of a loved one. This is all the other side. And then they love the wings. The wings are symbolisms. It means that I'm free of my body, which they are. They don't have a care in the world. They are free of the... And let me tell you something. I've had that moment of being free from my body and being in that other realm. There's nothing more freeing. You know that you've left the burden behind. And I mean the burden of your body, of worry, of stress, of everything. It's you realize how burdensome it was. And you're like, wow, it's gone now. And I'm so good without it. Now that we don't pass before our time. So there's no hurrying this journey. But I can tell you honestly that there is such a reward to transitioning to heaven. And that number one reward, other than being reunited with your loved ones, is the burden being gone. You're free. You're light. You are just, this is really indescribable. It's truly indescribable. So they send wings as a symbolism that they have that. Now, wings can be a bird staring at you through a window and you don't understand why. It can be a butterfly that's flying an abnormal way. Or I had someone question me on this once. They kept following the person around their yard and landing on them. Now that's unusual. Butterflies generally aren't going to stalk us. But this particular butterfly was a symbolism of a departed loved one. So when your gut tells you there's something odd going on, that's heaven. When something tells you, wait, a butterfly just doesn't generally do this. A bird, it doesn't want to stare at me like it has human eyes, and it's not doing it anywhere else. That's heaven. Very common signs. Another very common sign, and this is easy for them to do, though they don't do it to me personally because I'm a bit difficult about it. Coins. The pennies, the dimes are the most popular ones. They could also move in front of you dollars and fives and tens and 20s, because those bills circulate a lot, and that ink has a lot of energy, just like pennies and dimes have a lot of energy. So they can pick them up and put them right in front of you. They can even pile them up oddly next to you, or make a perfect line next to you, and you don't understand who did that. When did that happen? And so many people get the coins. Sometimes they go to visit someone at their grave, and there's a coin there, and they don't understand where did it come from? Where the departed loved one knew you were coming. So it's a hello. It's not only a hello, and I'm all right, but it's also everything's okay. You're being taken care of. It's going to work out. And truly, most of the signs are about that. I am with you. I'm helping it to be okay. It's going to be all right. It's going to work out in some way. And so I personally do not get coins because I drop coins. I'm klutzy with coins. And I basically have said to them, don't even try it, because I'll assume it's me. But have they helped me with other financial signs? Yes, they have. They have sent the mysterious checks that in no way could have arrived so quickly. They have left the money on top of the bag, the pocketbook, when I emptied it out twice and nothing was there. And then all of a sudden there's something there, right on top. They've done these miraculous things. And so this is heaven assisting us. Now, you may ask, and I don't blame you, well, why not send me $1 million? Sometimes they do. Why not do more? Sometimes they can't. You see, you may ask for signs from your loved ones, but that doesn't mean you're open to them. It also doesn't mean that you aren't supposed to experience something. If they were to work out every little thing for you, there'd be no reason for you to be here. There'd be no lesson for you to learn. There'd be nothing that you'd need to heal. There'd be no creation that you're here to do. And that's the purpose of you being here. So we have to have our journey. We have to learn. We have to grow. But do they make it easier? Do they serve us? Absolutely yes. And they're master workers. They are miracle workers. They truly are. And so that's so important to keep in mind. And they want to help you. And it is all right to ask for that help. Always. You are not going against anything or anyone by asking your loved ones for help. They're right there. Now, if it's above their pay grade, they'll send it over to an angel. They'll send it over to a spirit guide. They may even send it over to a master like Jesus or Blessed Mother Mary. They pray for us. They pray for us to be all right. They pray to the being that's standing there right in front of them in heaven with them, because they know it helps, because they know about the vibration of it, the higher vibration of prayer, of intention, of manifestation. So they are always trying to help you. They're always trying to help you. And so some of the other common signs are just feeling their presence. You may feel like touch in your hair. You may feel a touch on your arm as you're sleeping. You may feel that they have walked up right behind you and you want to turn around. You are correct. This is them. Sometimes, all of us, by the way, have seen them out of the corner of our eyes. All of us have the corners as our mediumship eyes. I see mine quite frequently, standing on top of my stairs, or walking by me, or a little light will go by out of the corner of my eye, and I know it's them. And I just say hello, thank you for being here. What most people do, excuse me, is that they will see them out of the corner of the eye and then they turn using both eyes and they don't see them, so they assume it's their imagination. But it's not. It just means that the third eye between your brow is closed. That's all it means. So every once in a while between your brow, unzip it and see if you turn slowly, if you can catch them standing there. They'll be probably like apparitions. They're probably not going to be solid to you, though I have seen them solidly. Most people do not. If they do see them solidly, they'll see them maybe across the mall looking at them, or on the side of the road. Most of the time we're going to see them as see-through. But they're there. They're always there. Now, another common incident can be, but it's very frustrating for a lot of us, our dreams. They do come in your dreams. But we so easily block them in our dreams. Sometimes we're looking for them too hard. And sometimes we don't have the capacity to remember our dreams. Now, if you are one that is like that, where you cannot remember your dream, try to request that they come in a dream and that the dream be very lucid and that you retain the information. And then try to wake up slowly in order to retain that information. But remember, you could easily block just with asking all of that and then waiting for it. I will also say that we sometimes question if they're in our dreams because sometimes dreams don't make sense. They were standing there and they didn't talk to me, or they said something but I couldn't hear them. That's the veil. That can block. But really, honestly, what they're trying to say to you is, hello, I'm okay, I'm with you. If they're determined to get a message to you, they're going to get a message to you. Nothing's going to stop them. So please don't ever feel that you've missed something or you're letting them down. There is absolutely no way to let them down. They love you too much. They know who you are. They know what you're trying to do down here. Sometimes we'll dream of someone right after they pass and then we don't dream of them forever. You know, that's common. They wanted to come to you immediately and let you know that they were all right and they were with you. And then they hold back. They don't come in the dream like they were before. But we always have the opportunity to bridge to them. We leave our bodies when we're sleeping. We go to that other realm. They are there. It can happen. And if the dream does not make sense, if it feels like your days in it, or there are weird symbols in it, that's true. Your conscious mind can interlope into your dreams. But when it's lucid, when they are there in any way, they're truly there, really. It's most of the time, 99.9% of the time, if you're seeing your loved one in your dream, they're truly there. Another common instance that they use to give you signs, and this is used by the angels as well. So this comes down to who you're talking to, all right? They can leave you a license plate in front of you, a bumper sticker, a perfect billboard, words. Again, perhaps an email with the electronics, but they talk to us. They can talk to us. And so pay attention to what's in front of you. I have a wonderful story. One Christmas Eve, I went to drop off a Christmas Eve or Christmas flower at the cemetery for a loved one. And so late with it. Should have been done a lot sooner. And I was hosting Christmas Eve, and so I felt rushed. I felt like I had to leave. But I made a point to drive by another departed loved one that was a special friend. And I screamed out to this departed loved one, I'm sorry, I don't have time to stop today. That was pretty lame, by the way, but true. Well, I thought it was true, but lame. I don't have time to stop today, but I love you and I miss you and I'll come back and see you. And I heard a chuckle. I heard a little bit of a chuckle and I smiled. I thought, yeah, they received it, didn't they? But there's always a part of you that questions, did they receive it? Did they hear you? That's the human self. But I went around the corner to leave the cemetery. It's a pretty large cemetery. Going out the main entrance, I'm the only one there. This is a large cemetery that's often very empty. And out of nowhere, this car cuts me out. And on the back license plate was my departed loved one's first name. Amazing. I was so happy. It made my day. It made my Christmas. These are the things that our loved ones can do. I don't know how they managed to get that car so quickly to me and in front of me because it was not there. But they can manifest. A car is a metal item. Yes, they do have to put a driver there, but it could have been an angel. It could have been that departed loved one driving that car. They managed to get it done. Time is not a predicament for them. Being able to move things in front of you is not a predicament for them. If you are not receiving, as I said, it's probably because there is something you're supposed to go through that makes you stronger and wiser, or you're blocking, or you're just blocking. But don't get frustrated by the blocks. Just don't give up on the blocks. Another thing they're doing more and more and more, which is just awesome. They can send you rainbows. Angels do this too. Angels can form clouds into angels. Your loved ones can play with the environment. Just as they can send you a bird, they can make a rainbow appear. Is it more angelic? Most likely. But if a rainbow shows up at a funeral, that's a loved one. That's a loved one. So every once in a while, take a little look up. Ask for help. Ask for a sign. It's there. So to review again, because I want to make sure I have the major ones. They are wings. They are coins. They are a presence. They are electronics, battery-operated things, lights, anything plugged in that has energy, including radios, where they can send you music. They're there. They are wonderful things in the sky. They are light touches. These all signify the presence of a loved one, letting you know they are with you and that they hear you. Sometimes you will also hear their voice. Sometimes it will sound like it's your voice talking at you, saying your name. It's the veil. It plays with it. If it comes out of nowhere, it's the other side. There's a difference between your imagination and heaven. Your imagination is working it. It's thinking through the colors. It's using your creative side of your brain. It's really focused on it like work. But when you're minding your own business and suddenly you hear your name, that's the other side. When you're minding your own business and suddenly you get an inspired action or idea, that's the other side. When it comes out of nowhere, it's them. It is not being made up. It's not your imagination. It is real. It is real. Will you try this out? Will you have that connection? And here's why this connection is so important. Because it does decrease the void. It decreases the physical. If you know they're there, you will still miss them. But you don't miss them as raw and as deep as you did, or as you can. And that's so important. It helps with your healing. Also, it's wonderful to know that they hear you and that you can say to them whatever you want, and you are allowed to yell at them. I can't guarantee they won't smile at you because they understand why you're yelling, but you can upset them. They can feel lost sometimes on how to help you. It's their human self. But truly, they have all connection to all knowledge and wisdom and a way to help you. So even that is not as prevalent. So don't worry about that. Let them have it. Sometimes I send out what I say are one-way memos. I'll send out like one-way emails to them. One-way recordings. Not expecting to hear back. Just letting them know how I feel. Just giving them my take. No, I'm working hard on this. I know you know that. If you can help me at all, I'd love that. Thank you. I actually don't ask them for help as much as I feel I should. And I'm going to make an intention to do that, to include my angels and my loved ones and my other spiritual helpers more. Because they have the time, because they have the will, because they have the generosity. So the answer is, do they hear you? Yes. They can't not hear you. You're heard even when you don't want to be heard. But don't let that concern you. Heaven has an amazing way of filtering out our humanity. They understand who you truly are. They understand when you're having a bad day. They understand when you're grieving. They understand when you're stressed. They're not going to hold it against you. They're going to try and help you. They understand your light, and they view you into that light, who you truly are and who you truly wish to be. And that is a wonderful thing, a wonderful feeling, to be viewed so unconditionally. That is what we strive for here, to be loved unconditionally, no matter who we are, to be accepted, to be cared for. That is what you get from heaven. You cannot, even no matter how horrible you may be, you cannot deny yourself that. You cannot. You can, let me put it better. They will not deny you that, but you may deny you that. Just by being that way. But you will always have access to that unconditional love, that unconditional acceptance, that adoration. So tune in. Let them hear you consciously, actively, in a focused way. And then step back, let go, and see when you get that answer. Now, sometimes it is required to sleep on it. Sometimes you go to bed, you give it to them, you wake up, you have it. That's them. That is them. They're nightly visitors, and that's nothing to be afraid of. So, know that sometimes the answer may come even in a dream or when you wake up. You have it. You're inspired. If you ever have a doubt about what step to take or what to do, ask them. Ask them. They may say, well, you need to come to it in your own time because there'll be nothing like it for you. But most of the time, they're going to try and answer you. So go ahead, do it. Why be alone? Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to build a following here of service because it's just a great vibration, and because, it's just enjoyable. It's enjoyable to serve. It's just wonderful. So please, send it out to people if you've connected. It's free. It doesn't require anything from you. And also be sure to check out my other YouTube channels, The Guided Journey, Manifest Life, and The Haunted Suitcase. And, yes, answer the poll in comments if you want. Should I combine some? And it won't be all of them, but I welcome your suggestions. And once again, especially for those who have found me and have no idea who I am, please be sure to check out my website at lisahop.com and follow me under my business page on Facebook, Lisa M. Hop Spiritual Coach and Medium. I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok. Little shorts on TikTok. Just little inspirations thrown out there for you to think about. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day and many blessings.